Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today is day 88 of my 200-day posting streak goal. And today, I'm doing the worst scene in every Christopher Nolan movie, excluding the Odyssey, which I did just see the Odyssey a few hours ago. I will do a review tomorrow, I'll do the Nolan ranking on Sunday, and I'll do the best acting performances in a Nolan movie next week. However, today I'm just doing the worst scene from every Christopher Nolan film, excluding the Odyssey. So before I give you what I think are the worst moments from each Christopher Nolan movie, feel free to share what you think are the worst moments from each Christopher Nolan movie down below in the comments. And let's begin. So for following, I'm going to say it's Bill's first interaction with the blonde girl. I just think this scene feels very performative, and I mean, that is kind of how I feel about a lot of following, but this scene just really sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Now, for Memento, I'm going to say Leonard and Natalie's first interaction. Now, I think their interactions, as the movie technically goes back in time, it becomes more clear, but realistically speaking, since it's actually closer to present day towards the beginning, it just feels like, how did Leonard all of a sudden kind of just let someone take advantage of him so much? I understand he kind of completely lost his mind by this point. I don't know. I just think Nolan going with for the larger and live concepts just kind of felt like for the first third of Memento he was kind of finding his footing. But I think Memento got way better as it went on. Now for Insomnia, I will actually say the scene where Hilary Swank's character finds out that Al Pacino was the one that killed the cop. And I didn't mind Hilary Swank in Insomnia. I thought she did a good job. But this scene felt a bit jarring. So, it's like, while it's not a terrible scene, it just felt very jarring. So I think it's the worst scene in Insomnia. For Batman Begins, I will say it is Rachel and Scarecrow's interrogation after the court case in the middle of the film. I mean, Katie Holmes' acting wasn't terrible in Batman Begins, but definitely wasn't great. And, yeah, like, basically just her interaction with Scarecrow just falls flat a bit. So I think it's the worst scene in Batman Begins. In The Prestige, it's the scene where Hugh Jackman's character builds the machine in Colorado. It's just becomes, for me, a little bit hard for it to wrap around, for me to wrap my head around it, especially given how I feel like the movie, for the most part, is very smart and very grounded. So yeah, that scene for me for me, sticks out like a sore thumb a bit. Now for The Dark Knight, I will actually say the scene where Bruce confronts Maroni. I think the Bale Batman voices is very absurd in Dark Knight. Now, I do think seeing like the foreshadow side of Two-Face was a very smart move on the director. However, I mean, the scene where Bruce confronts Maroni, I think it wants to sound very intense. I just think the scene falls flat a bit. So I think it is the worst scene in The Dark Knight. For Inception, it's Maul's death. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's a bit underwhelming. Especially like seeing her like jump to her death, but like you kind of keep seeing it multiple times. It's just, for me, because of how great the rest of the movie is, this scene just, for me, kind of just feels out of place. Now, for The Dark Knight Rises, same actress, Talia al Ghul's death, same actress that played Mole in Inception. Apparently Christopher Nolan doesn't know how to write her death scenes properly. Yeah, no, this scene was awful. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Terrible way for her character to go out, interacting, and just, it's like, no, it was awful. So yeah, Talia al Ghul's death scene, Dark Knight Rises, not good. Now, for Interstellar, I will say it's the black hole scene towards the end. Not Murph's speech, but just, like, basically them trying to resolve this all. I don't think it's a terrible scene, but I just think because of how good the rest of the movie is, this scene does just feel like a bit of a departure for the rest of the film. It's still a good scene. It's still an emotionally satisfying scene. I just think it's the weakest scene in Interstellar. Now for Dunkirk, I think it's the plane scene. I think the action is good. I think it's well directed. But because I felt virtually nothing for the characters in the scene, it just didn't feel that engaging, which is kind of a problem I have with most of Dunkirk, but this scene sticks out the most. Now for Tenet, it's Neil's goodbye. Neil's goodbye, I think, is like a good ambiguous ending and could have been a very nice way to follow it up in a Tenet sequel. I just don't think it works very well on its own. So I do appreciate what Christopher Nolan was going for but for me, just this scene doesn't quite stick the landing. Where, I mean, compare that to the Inception ending, where that's definitely ambiguous. I think that sticks the landing way better. Now, for Oppenheimer, it's the court scene right after basically the Holy Trinity bomb test scene. I think Oppenheimer dragged out a bit after that. What was really supposed to feel like the climax of the film, like about 2 hours in. The court scene, the acting from RDJ and Cillian Murphy's great. Overall, the court scene for me just feels like it got dragged out a bit. And while it's historically accurate, and while I did feel, mostly on the edge of my seat, I just think the scene just felt jarring a bit. So, yeah, I think it is the worst scene in Oppenheimer. Now, thanks for watching. Feel free to share what you think is the worst moment from each Christopher Nolan film down below in the comments. And this is day 88 of my 200-day posting goal. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.